A cheap life doesn't mean a lack of money. It means a lack of understanding of what to do with whatever amount you have. It isn't about being stingy, it's about being frugal with the things that truly matter. And in today's video, we're taking a look at 15 signs of a cheap life. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. You're constantly sick and unhealthy. Poor health means you need to spend a lot of time and money on medical bills and taking time off work. Having poor health also limits your ability to do things you love and enjoy your life to the fullest. Now, just a note here, we're not talking about chronic illnesses out of a person's control. We're talking about constantly running your immune system into the ground by not nourishing your body and taking care of yourself. This should be your number one priority, but it's often neglected due to a lack of resources or knowledge on how to improve it. A cheap life starts with cheap health. You can't have a level 10 life with a level 1 body. The clothes you want to wear don't fit you, the things you want to do are physically challenging, you're constantly tired even after just waking up. These are all signs of not taking care of the things that house your mind. If you want the most straightforward way to instantly upgrade your life, upgrade your health. There are literally no downsides, zero. It's the single best thing you could ever do for yourself. Number 2, no sense of aesthetics. We would go as far to say that a lack of aesthetics often means a lack of personality. Now, before you go all keyboard warrior on us, let us explain. Visual cues are something engraved in your mind for thousands of years. Have you ever wondered why you feel a sense of discomfort when you see a break in a visual pattern? Well, it's because thousands of years ago, a break in the pattern of leaves could mean a predator was moving through the bushes, waiting to make you dinner. So it's engraved in our minds to notice things that seem out of the ordinary. So in other words, it'll always matter how you see the world and how the world sees you. Now, when it comes to aesthetics, these are a reflection of one's personality and individuality. They are an expression of how you feel inside. And when people are out of tune with themselves, it literally shows from the way they look to how their environments look. That's why all Instagram models look like Kylie Jenner. Number 3, shallow relationships. A cheap life comes with cheap friends. Imagine you have a group of friends, but you don't really connect with them on a deeper level. You hang out with them occasionally, but your conversations don't go beyond small talk and surface-level topics. You don't feel like you can share your true thoughts, feelings, and experiences with them, and they don't seem to share much of themselves with you either. And this is an example of a shallow relationship. When you don't put in any effort into building and maintaining meaningful connections with others, you end up with cheap friends, and you become a cheap friend yourself. You have the same boring conversations about the same topics over and over again, and nothing interesting happens. And if you're struggling to make and maintain meaningful connections with people, you should check out the Alux app. We infuse our daily sessions and learning packs with knowledge from neuroscientists, relationship coaches, and psychologists to give you a well-rounded and comprehensive understanding of many things, including how to cultivate healthier, more dynamic friendships and relationships. Go to alux.com/app to get started today. Number 4, you find comfort in material possessions. When people base their self-worth on material possessions, they become fragile and vulnerable. Their whole identity only lasts until the new version comes out. That's the real reason people still camp outside Apple stores for new iPhones. When you base your identity on a product, you become a product. You're disconnected from your true self and lack any kind of authenticity. And when you put a higher price on products than your internal values, well, we're sorry to tell you, but you're living a cheap life. Number 5, they don't explore. Statistically speaking, most people will go to school, get a job, get married, and eventually die in the same general region as their parents did. And very few of them will dare to explore and see what else is out there. These people, the ones who stay put, they start to create a bubble around them. You know this happens when they start referring to the outside world as just that, the outside. Their whole life experience is minimized in the small city they grew up in. They're clueless to what else is going on in the world. And when they do travel, they go for the most pre-built, touristy experience that does nothing to enrich their culture. Number 6. They have a fixed mindset. Having a fixed mindset can be detrimental to personal growth and development. When you have a negative outlook on life and believe that things will never change or improve, you're likely to lack motivation and drive. You might find yourself accepting your current situation as permanent without any desire to change it. This can be limiting, as it prevents you from exploring new opportunities and pursuing your passions. By adopting a growth mindset, you'll be more open to learning and growth and will be able to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. And there's no way to start living a rich life with a fixed mindset. Number 7. They only think about themselves. People with a cheap life have a me-first attitude. When you lack empathy and don't consider the impact of your actions on others, it can lead to a lack of meaningful connections and a feeling of loneliness. Your me-first attitude will give others a you-last attitude. You won't be able to cultivate any kind of real meaningful relationships with others. And at the end of the day, an alone life is a cheap life. Number 8. They've got no aspirations or goals. Having no aspirations or goals can lead to a lack of direction and purpose in life. Without a clear idea of what you want to achieve, you might find yourself going through the motions without any sense of fulfillment or satisfaction. And a life void of any kind of achievement cannot feel rich. By setting goals and working toward them, you'll be able to create a sense of purpose and direction in your life, and you'll be more likely to achieve your dreams and aspirations. Number 9. They have poor money skills. When you struggle to budget, you overspend on things you don't need and don't prioritize saving or investing for the future, you might find yourself constantly in debt or struggling to make ends meet. Life gets interesting when you start solving life problems. But you can't get to them if you keep struggling with money problems. And while we said a cheap life doesn't mean a lack of money necessarily, being bad with money will certainly force you to live a cheap life. Number 10. They don't invest in personal development. There are few things more satisfying than watching yourself grow and evolve into a more complex and interesting person. But people who live a cheap life will never be able to experience that because they neglect personal development. When you choose not to evolve, you set a cap for how much you can get out of life. So if you haven't already, download the ALUX app and start evolving, my friend. Number 11. They lack personal values and morals. Struggling to make decisions and going along with the crowd rather than standing up for what you believe is a sign of a lack of personal values and morals. And the lack of personal values and morals comes from a bad relationship with yourself. People who live a cheap life are disconnected from themselves. They don't look inwards to analyze why they feel how they feel or what makes them tick. And unless they start doing that, they will always live a cheap life. Number 12. They have no social responsibilities. They feel like others are here to serve them. You can tell a lot about the quality of someone's life by the way they treat the waiter. You've seen it before. They're loud, demanding, they get triggered at any minor inconvenience. They believe that just because someone is paid to clean, it means they can be messy and litter. They keep their phone on speaker in public, and Number 13, they don't value others. People who live a cheap life surround themselves only with people who agree with them. They're so fragile, they need yes men around them. They need to feel like the most important person in the room, and if someone outshines them, then that person needs to go. The only value they have for other people is to feel like they're a part of a group. But they don't really care about the individuality of anyone. Number 14. They lack self-awareness. People who live a cheap life may lack self-awareness, meaning they don't understand themselves, their strengths, or their weaknesses. And as a result, they may not know how to make the most of their talents or overcome their limitations. They act like little robots living in a predefined world. Number 15. They don't value education. Education is a valuable tool for personal and professional growth. However, people who live a cheap life view it as a waste of time or money. Why should they pay someone to teach them anything? Why should they waste money on books when they can use that money to bet on fantasy sports? Why would they attend a talk when they could attend a bar with the squad? Education is just a no on their list of priorities, and it shows. So A-Luxers, we bet you've seen a dozen people that show all of these signs. But what other signs have you noticed? Let us know in the comments. And as a thank you for sticking with us until the end, of course, here's your bonus. They're proud of the way they're living. They'll say things like, "This is how I want to live my life," which sounds like something hard to argue with. This is where the phrase, "ignorance is bliss," comes into play. Because for some, they've got no problem settling for a cheaper life, which in their eyes looks good enough. But if you, the A-Luxer, want to live a rich life, a life that's more satisfying and rewarding, then you need to identify these things and start changing them. And to help you with that, tomorrow we're doing 15 signs of a rich life, where we'll look at what a rich life really looks like. So we'll see you back here again tomorrow for that. Thank you for watching this video, A-Luxer. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next. Or head over to our website for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.